I'm Lisa. Welcome back to my channel, Chandler Elizabeth. I definitely had a wild last 3 weeks. I'm finally feeling like myself again. It's pretty great because fuck, that was insane. I think it was like 2 weeks of the like high come down, and then this last week I was fucking on my period, and that fucking satanic wound sacrifice, like I've never been that emotional in my life in such like a dragged out amount of time. I was like, oh my god, if ya bitch does not go back to normal, I'm gonna scream. I was like, if one thing, I just felt personally attacked by the whole entire week last week. It was just like, obviously the only thing you control is how you react to things. That was a quote that I was trying to remember in my last video. But I could not control like how I was reacting to things. Like I was just like, another one, like Jesus. But we're back to normal. I guess I realized that I hadn't done yoga for 2 weeks, and for me yoga is just that medication. You know, some people like have other hobbies, but I like to work out. Working out is one thing, but like being with your breath, finding movement within your breath, like I felt fucking amazing today. And I haven't felt fucking amazing in about 3 weeks. So it's just been so freaking nice to just like finally be myself again. I got to see two of my, I love all of my clients. I'm not even gonna lie. I love the connection and the relationships I get to build with my clients. Like I truly enjoy the time that I have with my clients. But two of my clients who are the most open and just as vulnerable as I am, one of them, her name's Janie. She's kind of like this mother slash just like really good friend. I don't want to say mother figure, but like I tell her everything. Like I tell her everything, like how a daughter and a mother with a great communication relationship talk to each other. Like I tell her everything. She's my favorite. She's a flight attendant. I just love her so much. It was just so crazy. Like she was just like this random person, you know, who booked an appointment with me because I had the time open to do her hair. And yeah, she comes in every now and then to get a shampoo blow dry, and every now and again I would just be telling her about my life. She tells me about her life. I have another client, Virginia, and she is just this boss ass bitch. I enjoy her so much. So that really helped. I think I saw them on Friday and Saturday or something like that. So like towards the end of that really hard fucking week for me. And it was just like a nice ass therapy session. Just like, God, because I don't think I've ever bitched that much in my life. Like my whole Snapchat story was just me bitching about something, and I was absolutely annoying myself. I was like, why am I being like this? Can I stop? Can I stop? But I could not fucking stop. Holy crap. And then to top it all off, or to end off the great week, I guess, my last client was an actual like therapist or counselor or something like that. So that was really really fucking cool to talk to her and have her like be like, oh, you seem like this type of person to me. And God, we just vibed right away. I feel like I vibe with a lot of my clients, and that's fucking my favorite part about doing hair. I like to think, and I say this, I like to think that if I ever slay hair real hard and, you know, don't have to work a second job, I like to think that maybe I'd go back to school. Maybe, I don't know, getting a degree isn't really a huge thing, but I would love to take classes in psychology or whatever other stuff. Like I love learning about people. It's my favorite. Anyways, one of my really good friends from like 6th grade, V, shout out, because she's probably watching. I appreciate you so much for watching my fucking videos. Like she works and she's in school working on master's, PhD, I don't know. But slaying that shit, but still finds time to watch my fucking 30-minute long videos. She watched my video last week and recommended this book called Attached, and I've been reading it I made a pretty good dent in it. I'm almost halfway through. I didn't really know what to expect because the title is called Attached, the New Science of Adult Attachment. Attachment. And how it can help you find and keep love. Like, I'm not reading it as a self-help book to find and keep love. I just am reading it for educational purposes. And I've learned a lot about myself. Before I even started reading this book, talking to one of my clients, Virginia, you know, she goes and sees a counselor and talks about, you know, her life and all that stuff. And so she also, you know, went through some shit, not exactly the same as I did, but, you know, we both have trauma in our lives or have gone through some trauma. And so the way I was describing to her how I was, she was like, yeah, that's not really normal. And I was just like, that's just how I always thought. So I've always said, you know, if I don't feel something with someone within the first like few minutes of meeting them, I probably won't really like them. Not as a friend, but like dating wise. I'm like, I need to feel that spark. And if I don't feel that immediate, like, oh my God, I like you so much spark, then I probably won't like you. And she's like, that's not true. Same with the 6'6" guy, because he, you know, he was like, I mean, I do like you. I know, I see who you are. I think you're a great person. He did say, yeah, like, I think you're into me a lot more than I am into you, but I want to take things slow. I don't want to mess this up because, you know, you don't know. It's only been, what, like a month and a half, maybe 2 months now. Like, he just wants to be sure, blah, blah, blah. But for me, like I said in my last video, I didn't take that well because for me, I was like, I feel these things so deeply already for you. And if you don't feel that about me, then let's not waste time. Let's just end it now, you know? But Virginia was just like, no, ma'am, that is, you know, like a kind of like a toxic trait. I mean, I talked about it in the last video, and I do that shit all the single time because I don't need no man and I'm perfectly fine on my own and blah, blah, blah. So I know and feel mostly secure. So this book is about attachments, obviously, and there's anxious, secure, and avoidant attachment styles. After reading that, I was just like, I'm definitely more secure, but there are some avoidant parts that I am. And I'm not anxious most of the time. I think the only time I'm really anxious is when it's drug induced. But turns out I'm a lot more avoidant than I thought, and I didn't even realize it. Like, I go through phases of closeness with some of my friends at work. You know, we're not like BFFs all the time. It's not like I like end up not liking them or anything. It's just like you just go through phases, like a couple days or weeks in a row, you know, you just happen to see more of each other or like, you know, whatever, and you're talking more and you're close, and then a couple weeks later you're not as close, and it's just, I think I never really noticed it until I was reading it, and it was talking about how avoidant and anxious people in a relationship are together. And I was like, holy shit, this explains how I feel about my roommate. And whenever I realized this, I immediately texted her and I was just like, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you. And I just explained to her, like, I've just been reading this book and I've learned a lot, and I guess I just now notice like how I am and then how you might take how I am. Like, I definitely am avoidant when it comes to relationships. Friends, family, love relationships. Like, I'm not really that close with my mom or dad or brother anymore. Like, obviously I love them and I hope and wish them well, but you know, like, we don't talk all the time, or ever really. We talk maybe once every couple months. Same thing with, you know, like any of my work friends. We always, you know, we have like our clique, obviously, and we'll go out every now and then, but I don't find myself needing to feel close with them all the time. And I thought that was just because I'm just secure in who I am. I mean, I am, but then I'm like, am I avoiding close relationships? I mean, it doesn't bother me because I am okay being on my own, you know, and I do enjoy, I think as I've grown, I've become a little more introverted, which is crazy and probably harder to understand because y'all see this persona. This is like the real me, the me that's like what I'm thinking all the time, the openness, like that's just how I really am. But in public or around friends even, like sometimes I'm pretty reserved. But going back to the relationship with me, my roommate, love her to fucking pieces. She's great ass roommate. Like, I think we're both pretty lucky to have each other as roommates. But I did start to notice, like, we were a lot closer before we started living with each other. And I do consider her to be anxious, and it's not a bad thing. I think anxious people, the way this book describes, have more of themselves to offer up at the table. They desire closeness, and obviously I've like noticed that with her and all of our other friends or whatever situations. And it's not a bad thing because yeah, like who wouldn't want to love and be loved? Like I definitely am that way too. Sometimes. So I did notice, like once we did start living together, I think it kind of, I don't know if I'm like afraid to be too close to someone. And I was thinking about it, I was just like, where did this all stem from? But it's also a little harder of a concept for me to realize because I didn't realize that I was this way because I love closeness and I love relationships and I love connection with people. But I guess I like that more with secure people or maybe even other avoidant people. But when someone's anxious, I think it's like, for me, it's like, oh my God, it's like too much pressure to be close. And I feel like I'm just rambling on, but I thought I sent, you know, like really well written. I'm a writer, okay? I'm not really that much of a speaker. You throw me a phone, you throw me a keypad, I can write whatever, and it just flows, and I never have to go back and revise. But when I'm talking, I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, anxious, avoidant. Yeah, that was a huge aha moment for me today. Literally happened today. I was like, holy shit. Like I did find myself like, I think there was a period where we were bonding a little more when we were watching TV and eating munchies and whatnot. But yeah, once that ended, like we're not home at the same time anyway. But yeah, I think and in this book, it talks about how you can mistake being self-reliant to being independent, which I feel like I am pretty fucking independent. And I also am self-reliant. I don't know if that technically means the same thing, but I think self-reliant is like you just don't ask for help from other people. I've always been, I'm just gonna do it myself. Like I don't really like depending on someone else. Maybe my significant other, yeah, absolutely. The way I am with my significant other, let's just say the one significant other that I've had in my adult life, Corey, yeah, super, like, very dependent. I don't even want to say codependent, but I was definitely independent, but at the same time, I didn't mind depending on him because I knew I can count on him, and he wouldn't let me down. But I feel like for other people, and so I was thinking about it today, like, I was talking to my friend B, and she was just like, why do you feel guarded? Are you bothered that you feel that way or whatever? And I was just like, I think it all started in like 7th grade or something like that. So I had like my core best friends, and then, you know, in 7th grade you start athletics, and now you're in this group with a bunch of new people. And there was one girl that I absolutely loved. She became a really close friend of mine. We hung out all the time, had sleepovers, blah blah. Like I really liked her, and then turns out she was like a huge liar for no reason. Like she lied about just dumb shit, like her parents weren't her real parents or whatever, like this happened to me and this happened to me and blah blah blah. I had no idea until my friendships with my other friends slowly started deteriorating, because also she was like backstabbing the whole entire circle. Like, she said this, she said that, she said this, blah, blah, blah. And then we all got together and we were like, hey, we've been friends a lot longer than we have with her. Like, what's going on? And it was just her. I think that was where it all began, honestly, of my just fucking hardness. Obviously, I love my friends and the people that I'm super close with, the people that I fucking grew up with, you know? But I've always I've always been pretty reserved in the beginning. If I start working somewhere new and stuff, like I like to just sit back and watch how people act. I like to listen to what they say. If they talk badly about someone, if they talk badly about someone who's supposed to be their friend, yeah, I've always thought that, you know, like I'm pretty trusting and all that stuff, but turns out I am very guarded. And I don't know why it's blowing my mind. Like, yeah, I've always been pretty fucking guarded. But it wasn't until, you know, like last week that I realized, hey, yes, it's a little bit considered, I've always considered it as a strength. But it also, you know, like in my last video, it is a toxic trait, and I almost ran away from a fucking potential great relationship because I was scared. So yes, this book, please, it is a super easy read. Like, I got this the other day and I'm almost done with it. I learned a lot about myself. I can't remember really like specifics, but yeah, it's been, I don't know why I'm so like, wow, this is crazy. Because even picking up the book, I was like, yeah, I kind of knew that about myself. Yeah, I kind of knew this. Yeah, I kind of know that. I know how people are like that and people are like this. But then there are just some moments where it's just like, oh my God, like, holy crap. So yes, read it. If you find yourself being the type of person, which I was definitely, and I am not an anxious person at all, but coming down from that high, it's just like I literally have no control over my thoughts, and I was just anxious the whole entire time. Like, you just feel threatened by literally anything, and I don't want to say literally anything, but anything that a secure person would feel or say. If you're anxious, like, literally anything can be a threat to you. Like, oh no, I actually have plans today, and you're like, oh my God, they don't like me anymore. Like, that's not healthy. Not really. But when you are anxious and you happen to, you know, like a secure person, they should be the type of person that's supportive, that can reassure you, hey, it's fine, nothing's wrong, blah, blah, blah. They shouldn't make you feel guilty or make you feel weird or make you feel like you're being too needy. Like, I feel like a good partner reassures you and helps you understand, you know, like, what you're feeling or what you're thinking might, you know, isn't really reality. So last week, I definitely did learn, you know, like, this is just new territory for me, you know, because with Corey, everything happened so fucking fast. We were on the same page. We were like, we're ready to fall in love. Like, let's just do it right now. And everything happened super fast. And with the relationship, I keep calling it a relationship, but it's not, hangout sesh for a year and a half or whatever with the guy. Before that, nothing happened. And I kind of just allowed myself to get dragged along for quite a while. And nothing happened. Granted, he did say, I don't want a relationship. But I was stubborn and I was like, I'm going to keep doing this and doing that. And I remember being very anxious person. I showed all of the signs of what anxious people would do. Protest, as in like not talk to them anymore to see if they'll miss you and they will like text you or whatever. Didn't really work. Or just try to make them jealous. I didn't really tell him what I would do, but I definitely went out and slept around, and because in a way it helped me feel a little better. Yeah. So I definitely have always, I guess, been up until my ex Corey have always kind of been, well, not until Corey. After that relationship, that was when I learned to be secure, because I learned to love myself and I learned my value. Like, I'm pretty fucking cool ass chick, you know? I'm funny and I'm caring, I'm loving, you know, I have a lot to bring to the table. So sure, that was like a really shitty time and I drank a lot and it was just like a toxic environment that, again, I put myself through. But I learned so much, and I'm looking back on that now, and yeah, I was very anxious person. So with Corey, we're both secure, and that just easy sailing. But with the 6'6" guy, I think he's secure too. Doesn't help or didn't help that I was smoking, which made me very, you know, like an anxious person. But with him, I was very obsessed. You know, like the first week or two, I was like chill, and then we started hanging out a lot more, and I was just like, oh my God. And I just was like picking up all these things, and I was just like, oh my God, things are moving so fast, and I love it. What are the odds that it's gonna be like this with me and Corey, and la la la. Like, it was just insane. So whenever we had the conversation of what we are and all that stuff, like, I obviously didn't take that well because I was high and I was anxious. So what he was describing to me, to a secure person, you would be like, okay, yeah, that's chill. But because I was anxious, I was just like, oh my God, he actually means this and he doesn't really like me, and blah, blah, blah. I feel like I'm rambling on. But now that I am secure, I'm broken. I've broke away from the obsession. The obsession is over. The only way I can describe this, and I keep using Wingstop as a metaphor or an analogy, I still can't remember which one's which. So I have a very obsessive, addictive personality. And it happens with food. There are things that I like to eat regularly or binge eat where when I think about it, when I'm craving it, it's not just the food. Even the way I'm talking about food right now, like it's fucking art. But it's not just the food. It is the whole picture. It is the experience. It is how it makes me feel. So Wingstop is definitely one of those places. And when I go to Wingstop, I always get either the 6 or the 8 piece. Always Hawaiian, always lemon pepper. Hawaiian, lemon pepper fries, 2 ranches. It's gotta be 2. And I'll use I'll use that shit up. I will. And veggie sticks. Because I love my celery and I love my carrots. And a side of buffalo. Not buffalo, just a side of the original hot, because I like to dip the celery in there. And most importantly, sweet tea. Okay? So when I think about Wingstop, I'm thinking about the whole thing, the experience, how it makes me feel, how warm it is when it goes down my throat into my tummy. It's love. It's not love. I am very weird when it comes, I don't know where the whole obsession thing comes from. I think it has something to do with control or feeling okay. But yes, so Wingstop. And I get irrationally upset. I never go off or complain to the people who work there, but inside, I am irrationally upset if something's wrong. If they forgot my ranch, if they forgot my celery or veggie sticks, they forgot the side of buffalo. Why do I keep calling it buffalo? It's original hot. Hello? Do you eat at Wingstop ever? If they don't have sweet tea, because sometimes they'll fucking dump that shit, I guess like an hour or two before they close, and I will be like, what do you mean you don't have sweet tea? And it will get me so mad. Okay, so there was one time we Uber Eats or DoorDashed Wingstop. First of all, this kid almost just drove away with our food. So we were at 66 or my boy's house, and he's in like a new development, so the address isn't like, sometimes it's not right on on Apple or whatever, maps. I think I'm having a stroke. So even the first time I went over there and checked, you know, the address, it like said the house is over here, but really, you know, it's over here. But that's when you fucking use your brain and you're like, this house number isn't the same as that house number. Maybe I should go find this house number. Like, he also said he tried to call. You didn't, because my phone number is correct in the app and you did not call me. So I don't know what you're talking about. And I had to call him because it said that he was arriving soon. 5 minutes passed and he wasn't here. So I called him like, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, I think I was at the wrong house. And I'm like, yeah, I saw you. You were at the wrong house. And he's like, oh, we already left. And I'm like, can you come back? So he comes back, he hands me my food, and he's like, hey, they were out of sweet tea, so I just got you another Sprite because I got 6 of Sprite. And I was just like, I hate Sprite. I was so mad. I was like, I wanted the whole thing. And 6 didn't even want Wingstop. Like, I try not to eat Wingstop because if I do, I literally will eat it twice a week for like a month or two because I am obsessed. And it's really hard for me to break away from that obsession. So fucking difficult. So when he fucking told me that I wasn't gonna have sweet tea with my fucking Wingstop, I was like pouty. I was like, it's not gonna taste the same. It didn't taste the same. It sucked ass. I'm getting so heated right now. It just did not taste the same. It wasn't that good. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. And even 6 was like, I have tea, I can make you some tea, but it was like peach tea, and I like appreciated him for making the tea, but I was just like really upset that they didn't have my fucking regular sweet tea. It was just a whole thing. So I used that as an analogy or metaphor, can't remember, to describe how it felt when I was in my anxious high come down when we talked about what we were, or what we were. So for me, when he said, I do like you, but I want to be sure, blah, 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 hearing unsure, hearing you're not good enough, that immediately made me feel, because when I was obsessed with 6, it was the combination of everything. It was the experience. It was a whole thing, you know? So when he says, I don't know, I want to take it slow, I'm unsure, like, but I want to be sure. To me, it was just like, so I don't get sweet tea, you know? And I got irrationally upset, wanted to play games. This is all anxious attachment styles. Wanted to play games, wanted to quit, wanted to not talk to him and see if he noticed. Like, oh my God, I was fucking insane. I hate when I become obsessed like this. And I don't do it regularly. It's just mostly with food. But for me, I guess, just don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. Now that I'm in my secure mind, I don't even know what the point of the story is. I guess it's to say, once I get over my obsession with Wingstop, I don't crave it anymore. I don't want to eat it anymore. The thought of it makes me like want to throw up a little bit. And it's not extreme to what I'm trying to describe how I feel about 6 now. So for me right now, I'm trying to determine if I'm feeling secure right now or if this is me being avoidant. Because now that the obsession is over, these love goggles are off, which I'm really upset that I threw out that I loved him when I was drunk one time. Like, we were I was completely plastered. And I don't know why. It was in the obsession, and I just wanted to say it. And I did. And I remember when it came out of my mouth, I was like, that didn't feel right. I shouldn't have said that. I mean, when I look at him, and I think is subscribed to my channel. I hope he doesn't watch these videos because I want to have this conversation with him. But I'm just so like, oh my God, I learned so much about this book and I just want to talk about it. Or I'm going to explode. But now that the obsession is over, trying to figure out if I'm secure or if I'm being avoidant. Because now that everything's over, I'm just like, I'm chill. But I can't decide if I'm chill or if I don't care anymore. I mean, I do. Like, yeah, when I look at him, oh my God, I see him. He's sexy as fuck. And he's just incredible. You know, he's a good person. He makes me laugh. He's goofy. Yeah, I do like him. When I look at him, I'm like, I feel something like in my bones, in my soul. Like, I feel this want to connect. But when I'm not with him, after the obsession is over, I'm just like, I don't really know now. Because now I'm like relearning all this stuff. So I'm just like, I constantly have to remind myself a little bit. Because I think I am being avoidant in a way, you know? Because this is the first, I don't even want to call it a relationship, but usually any guy I talk to, we talk all the time. If we're not hanging out regularly, we're texting. And we don't have to have like long, novel text conversations, at least talking once a day. Whether it be good morning, good night, or I hope you had a good day, or, you know, like, and I think it also has something to do with the 5 love languages or languages of love or whatever. Like for me, active affirmation is important, or words of affirmation is important. I think it helps me feel, you know, like reassured a little bit, because otherwise it's like, you know, before when I was obsessed, it was like, oh my God, does he even like me anymore? Now that I am not obsessed, now that I'm back to my normal self, I'm like, do I even like him anymore? And obviously I do. I like him a lot. I like when we hang out together. But when we're not together, I'm just like, I think it's just me being avoidant, honestly. And it's just crazy. I didn't realize how avoidant I was, because I'm so like sure of what I want and blah, blah, blah. But I guess like when you're not talking every day, you kind of like, you're not sure, because you're like, is he into me or is he not? And if he's not, I kind of don't want to be into him either. It's all new, and obviously I know communication is everything, and I'm, you know, obviously gonna voice this to him, that I need that. I need a daily, you know, like, hey, I'm thinking about you, you know, especially if we're not hanging out as much as we were, because I was giving up on my shifts, but now that I'm working, it's really just like 2 possible days that we can see each other. And then just not talk in between. Taking it slow is one thing, but if it starts to feel more casual, I think I'm not into the casual, because been there, done that. I think it's a waste of time. Like, how are you supposed to get to know the other person if you barely see or talk to them, you know? Like, you're just talking to them whenever you're bored, or you only see them whenever, you know, like, I think I'm thinking too much about it now that after I've read this, and I'm not even done. But now I'm definitely thinking too much about everything, because I also tried to like look back into my relationship with Corey, and I'm just like, oh, what was I being like, and all this and all that. You know, I was just like, bitch, just fucking chill, put up your goddamn laundry. I've been sitting there, I did a hardcore, like, I cleaned so much on Monday. Like a bathroom deep clean, wipe down the freaking, I don't know what the floor parts are called, but the ceiling parts are obviously like crown moldings. We don't have crown moldings, but we have the floor moldings or whatever. Dusted those off with some freaking polish, and it looks amazing. Like, anyway, did all that cleaning, but my laundry's still sitting there. Like, I just need to, and I talked to my friend V about it, obviously, and I know communication is everything. So yes, I'm not afraid to communicate. It's just I would rather do this in person. So voice these feelings with him. And obviously someone who is into you will help make you feel reassured. If they say, oh, you're being weird, or oh, you're being needy, or blah, 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 or we already talked about this already, like, that's not someone I would probably want to be with. So either way, if I bring up this conversation, either it goes well or it's not going to go well, and that kind of shows true colors, and then it's like, not into it. 1, communication. Yes. 2, I know I need to just chill and fucking relax, you know? Like, not everything has to be something. You don't have to have control over everything. I think that's another big thing, is because, like, I'm so fucking impatient. I am the most impatient person. And I just, like, I need control, obviously. Like, I need control over my mind or I'm gonna freak out. Like, I just need to chill. Take it slow. take it easy. Like, just let shit happen. I don't know why I have this need to just, like, control things all the time. Which is so funny because I wouldn't even... Don't like that. Which is so funny because I wouldn't even consider myself a control freak. But I guess when it comes to, like, feeling uneasy or emotions or where things are going, like, I guess I kind of need things a certain way. Anyways, I don't really know if there was a point to this video. I just know that I wanted to talk about the book mostly and what I learned about myself, my toxic traits, even though I already talked about it in the last video. But yeah, it's been pretty freaking interesting overall, and I feel really good, and I think that's what's important, is because even if I am being avoidant or secure or anxious, like, I haven't really felt like, oh my god, I'm crazy, you know, like, I feel fine either way, whatever happens. And then it's just like, bitch, just chill. Because I think my friend was asking, like, stuff about what he does, or if we talk, you know, what do we talk about, if it's deep stuff or if it's just like, hey, and this is what I did. But yeah, he's really open. I think that's one of the things I like about him, is he's not afraid to talk about his feelings, which I feel a secure person isn't afraid to talk about their feelings. And he's told me, you know, many times that he does like me. And I guess mentioning that to her, like, saying, like, the things that he does do for me when we are together, after I sent that text, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I do like him. I do like him a lot. So I definitely believe that it's just me being avoidant. It's just something I taught myself to do. I taught myself to detach feelings. And it talks about that in the book, that when you're avoidant, you start to... There's a thing called Phantom X. Like, you start to put your last relationship kind of like on a pedestal. And I don't think I do that. I think I do with the experience I got to share with him, you know? Like, obviously, yeah, there were very, very shitty times in there, but overall, like, oh, so thankful for that chapter in my life, you know? But maybe I'm so, like, I can't help but compare, you know? You always compare, and everyone's different, so I need to just break away from that. And another thing avoidant people do is they start, detaching their feelings, or I think in the book they call it, like, deactivating. They start thinking about their flaws, the other person's flaws, and try to convince them, oh, you know, you probably won't be into that person because of these flaws, but everyone has flaws, and none of them are deal breakers for me. So it's just like, you're self-sabotaging again, in a way. Obviously, it protects you, and it is a strength in some ways, but in some ways it might not be. And I guess I'm glad that I can, recognize when I'm being that way. So at least I'm not being an insane, you know, not that being anxious is insane, but I hated feeling out of control. That was so hard for me. Those were a couple of hard ass weeks. Like, it was just very difficult for my brain, my mental health, my heart, my soul. Like, holy crap. So it's been so nice to feel normal. But yes, please give this a read if you feel like, I don't know, it's just, it's really good. If you want to rediscover yourself, you know, you might think one way, and then you read this and you're like, holy shit, I do this, and I just need to, you know, like, chill out or something. Anyways, wow, it's a 40-minute video. I didn't think it was going to talk that long. I think it hit like 15 minutes, and I was like, damn, I'm out of things to talk about. And then all of a sudden, I just keep talking. Songs on repeat. I've been listening to Lie to Me a lot from 5 Seconds of Summer. And another one. There You Are from Zayn. What's the other one that I've been freaking obsessed with? Love Me Back by Ritual and Tove Strike or something like that. Those 3 songs. Well, Love Me Back and Lie to Me I've been listening to, like, literally on repeat. So it's just fun to sing those songs in the car. Okay, I can't believe it's 40 minutes. Anyways, thanks for watching me ramble on. Follow me on Snapchat, Chandler Liz, Instagram, hair by Lisa Left Eye, Lisa Left Eye. Thanks for watching. Bye. I wish there was music, but there's not.